All right, the absolute first thing I need to address is my swollen eye. Look at this thing. One day I'm super happy Jimmy, giving away stuff like I'm Oprah Winfrey. T-shirt, T-shirt, PS4 Pro. And the next day it hurts to keep this thing open. But I'm going to the doctor later so you guys can pray for Jimmy over the next few hours. But nothing was gonna hold me back from doing this video. I am committed no matter what the circumstances are. Second, the World Cup draw happened. It is over, it is done, and I feel bad for England because they are in a group that they should get out of. But they're gonna figure out a way to screw it up and not get out of it because that's what they do. And don't come at me about the US, I don't really wanna talk about it. And you know what, just about the predictions in general, I'm gonna be doing them next week. World Cup predictions happening next week. I'll address the draw and the groups, so be on the lookout. And third, let's get to previews and predictions already, starting with Napoli versus Juventus. Because the game is happening today. I mean, who puts one of the biggest games in Europe this weekend on a Friday? That is such a joke, especially when this game is going to have such huge implications on who wins the Serie A title. Because if Napoli can win, which is going to be a bit of a tough ask since they've won only 2 out of their last 13 meetings with Juve, they would go 7 points clear of the defending champions. However, if Napoli lose, the gap between them will be 1 point, and then all of that positive momentum that Napoli has created at the start of the season will be gone, which is something we've seen turn for the worse with Borussia Dortmund. Do you guys remember that? They started off so incredibly well, and then they had 1 or 2 bad games. Not necessarily bad games, but they didn't get a result, and they just got down on themselves, and it's been a downward spiral ever since. So we're gonna find out, speaking about Napoli, whether they are pretenders or contenders this season from this game. But I think they're gonna hold their own, and they're gonna battle it out to, you guessed it, one of my favorite scorelines, a 2-2 draw. And up next, it's Arsenal versus Manchester United, which, let's be honest, will probably be more entertaining on the sideline than anything we see on the field itself, given Manchester United's tactics away from home, because Arsene Wenger and Jose Mourinho resume their bitter rivalry this weekend at the Emirates. Now, as you may or may not know, Mourinho has held a superior head-to-head record over Wenger over the last decade and a half, I'd say. But in Mourinho's pursuit of the Europa League last season, it saw him toss his undefeated record against Wenger to the side so he could win that trophy, which he did, but it allowed Wenger to finally beat him. However, the past is in the past, so let's focus on the here and now. And the biggest loss for me, for either club, even with Manchester United's Nemanja Matic being out with injury, is the absence of Alexander Lacazette for Arsenal. Because the rhythm and rapport that is being established between him and Alexis Sanchez and is really something to behold, and I think him missing out on this game due to a growing injury is going to have a negative impact on the fluidity of Arsenal's attack, especially with United missing 2 starting center backs as well, in Eric Bailly and Phil Jones. But United is probably going to play compact no matter who is in their starting 11. They're probably going to score on a set piece. While Olivier Giroud, who's going to be the likely replacement for Lacazette up top, is probably going to pull out some magic from his butt to score an improbable goal, and the game is going to end 1-1. And now let's head to Spain for Athletic Bilbao versus Real Madrid. Because over the years, playing at Bilbao's home stadium was one of the most difficult places to pick up points in all of La Liga. But this season, the San Mamés Stadium has been no mames. They've already lost to both Atletico Madrid and Barcelona at home, which must have been a big sigh of relief for both of those clubs to pick up points at that place so early in the season. So now it's Real Madrid's turn to see if they can steal all 3 points before Athletic can get their confidence back. Though I'm not sure if they're going to get it back anytime soon after they just conceded a 96th minute winner, yes, at home a few days ago to a second division side to get knocked out of the Copa del Rey. But as a player, these are the games that you live for, playing against the defending champions of both La Liga and the Champions League. So the Athletic players and their coaching staff and their fans have to know that this game could be a big turning point in their season and something that they need to have to feel positive again. So what's that phrase? Beware of the wounded tiger? Does it apply here? Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. But Madrid is Madrid, and they're champions for a reason, and they've won the last 3 fixtures between these 2 clubs. And I really feel like they're going to do it again. But it'll be close, 1-0. And now let's head to Germany for Bayer Leverkusen versus Borussia Dortmund. Because Dortmund are without a win in 6 league games and have picked up just 2 points from a possible 18 during that period. And they've also conceded 18 goals in those 6 games. So if you factor in these stats, along with the fact that they blew a 4-goal lead to Schalke last weekend, which is the first time in the top 5 leagues. guys paying attention? That a team would blow a 4-goal lead since 2011. So if you couple all of that with Leverkusen yet to lose a game at home this season, I think this is only going one way. And it's going to be a solid but exciting 3-2 win for Leverkusen, which means Leverkusen would then leapfrog Dortmund in the table. And then that would send Dortmund potentially out of the top 6 if Hoffenheim win as well, which would continue this incredible downfall for the club. And next up, it's Porto versus Benfica. As the 2 best attacks and the 2 best defenses, and arguably the 2 best clubs in Portugal, sorry Sporting, clash in the biggest game in Portugal this season. Porto are currently unbeaten in the league, drawing just 2 of their 12 games so far, while Benfica are on a 4-game winning streak to climb to within 3 points of the top. So, very similar to Napoli, Porto needs to win this game if they are truly going to vie for the title this season. And honestly, I'm hoping they do it, if only because I'm tired of seeing the same clubs win their leagues season after season after season. So Porto, I believe in you, and I think you're going to do it 2-1. And now for another big rivalry this weekend, it's Besiktas versus Galatasaray in the Turkish Super League. So Galatasaray are on top of the league after 13 games, despite losing 2 and drawing 1 out of their last 5. But that has seen their lead at the top cut to 2 points, while last season's champions Besiktas sit in 5th, 6 points back. And you have to believe that they have to win this game to stay relevant in the title race. If they lose and fall behind by 9 points, I do not see them recovering, which would be a bit of a shame since they won their 15th league title last season, which moved them 1 closer to Galatasaray, who won 20 league titles, which is the most in Turkish Super League history. Yeah, store that right there, or put it in your pipe and smoke it. Anyway, prediction time. Both teams have combined to score 48 goals this season, so it's going to be a high-scoring affair. We're going to see some goals, which is always a good thing for us neutrals, and I'm going to say 3-1 to Besiktas. And then in France, the top game for me is Montpellier versus Marseille. Because Marseille have quietly worked their way into 2nd place despite having scored less goals and giving up more goals than the 3rd and 4th place teams, Monaco and Lyon respectively. But Marseille know how to grind out results, minus their 6-1 thrashing in Monaco, against Monaco in August. And then the game they lost right after that, must have been feeling sad for themselves. They lost to Rennes at home 3-1. So they've been mostly good, let's say 95% of the time, and they're just tough to beat. And I think climbing into 2nd place should give them confidence to get past Montpellier this weekend, who just happen to have the best defense in league, only giving up 8 goals in 15 games. So it's gonna be a tight one. But I think Marseille has it in them, and I think they're going to win 1-0. And then finally, let's break down the 2nd leg of the Liga MX semifinals, where both away teams won in leg 1 when Tigres beat Club America 1-0 at the Estadio Azteca. Which isn't all that surprising since Club America can't score to save their goddamn lives right now. So I don't see them scoring for the 4th straight playoff game in leg 2, which means Tigres will make it to yet another final. And then in the other game, top-seeded Monterrey also won away from home 1-0 over Morelia, but that was mainly due to their goalkeeper, Hugo Gonzalez, standing on his head to help the club keep the shutout. Now, as a reminder, this club had the best regular season record. They scored the most goals in the regular season. They gave up the least amount of goals, and they are just clearly the best team in Mexico right now. And with the opportunity for them to host the final if they win this game, I just don't see them giving that up to Morelia of all teams. So they're going to win, and then we're going to be treated to an excellent final between Tigres and Monterrey next week. And alright, that is it. That is all I got, except for this. I hope my eye feels better, because it feels like crap right now. And you guys need to pick the right score for Arsenal versus Manchester United. And if you do, you'll be entered to win a warm ball or starter kit of a t-shirt and some stickers. And it's just a lot of good stuff, a lot of good vibes. So good luck. Later.